Hi guys, my name is Hussein Mashayikhi and I'm back with another tutorial for you. In this one, we're going to learn how to assign different materials to a single object. Imagine a single object that has different polygons and we want to assign different materials or several materials to it. For example, this roof was one single material when it was imported from 3ds Max. Now I can just assign different materials to different parts of it, okay? Or this wall, for example, I can divide it into two parts and assign two different materials to it, and that's what I'm going to do now. So for example, I want to take the material from the side wall behind the TV. Let's see what it is named. I'm gonna copy the name by pressing F2 on my keyboard. Okay, I have the name copied now. Now I'm gonna select this wall. I'm gonna put this on modeling, and under attributes I'm gonna select matte editor. Okay, so I'm going to select matte editor. I get this big brush and I can select the polygons that I want to assign a new material to. I can, if I click on this face color, put this on none, I can see the material that has been used previously. Okay, it's not white anymore, and I can change the size of my brush by choosing a smaller number, for example 0.05. okay, it's smaller and more precise now. And I'm trying to select all these polygons, the ones on the sides too. Okay, so I have to make sure all of these are selected, and let's do it for the other side as well. Okay, so we select all these polygons. Okay, and now we're going to change the material for these ones. Now under materials, I have the previous material. I'm gonna add one myself. It's called one, and now all I have to do is to copy the name of the material that I wanted. Okay, if I click on assign active material, it's gonna assign the 01, the previous one, which I don't want. So I'm gonna go to active material here, and I'm gonna select 1 instead of 0. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm gonna click on assign. So we have the 0 material and the material called 1. We're going to select 1, okay, and assign active material, and then we are all done. Okay, so this part of the wall is now using a new material. Let's do it for the other wall as well. Click on material editor, matte editor, face color on none. Let's select the polygons. Okay, all right, and then all we have to do is to assign the new material. Okay, it's called 1. Select 1 as active material and then assign active material. Okay, click on accept and done. All right, now as easy as that was, we can just assign different materials to different objects. Okay, so now you always have the option to do this in 3ds Max before you import your objects inside Unreal, which would be easier, and you would have the option to use different materials. But a lot of people want to be able to do it inside Unreal after the process of importing the objects have been done, and that is basically how we do it. Okay, all right, for the next part of the tutorial, I'm going to go to another scene and take one object from this scene and take it to the other Unreal Engine scene that we have. Okay, now Unreal Engine 5 has a small bug that doesn't let it recognize a lot of materials. Now for this part, we're going to take this sofa and take it from this scene, which is made in Unreal Engine 5, to the other scene, which was Unreal Engine 5 as well. Okay, so the first thing that we do is to go to its folder. If we browse to asset, we go to our content browser and we find the folder. Okay, all right, let me just do some house cleaning. I'm gonna dock this and I'm gonna choose a default layout that is gonna work for me better. Okay, this is good. So instead of that sofa, let's just take this one. Okay, so we select this one, this other one, and I'm gonna right click on it, click on browse to asset. Okay, and this is the one. All right, so this is the one inside that folder. Now in order to transport this object, I can right click on it and go to asset actions and then select migrate. Okay, if I do that and click on don't save, I get all these other assets that are related to it, and I need to click OK after this, and then all I have to do is to give the destination of the other project that I'm working on. Okay, so in order to get that destination, I go to the other project And then all I need to do is to just select on a blueprint or a geometry or a shape or a material inside that project from my content browser, and then try to navigate to that relative folder. For example, I go to the blueprints, let's see, okay, and I right click on a blueprint. Maybe it will be better if I do it in geometry to, you know, find a closer folder. Okay, so I can right click on one of these and then select show in Explorer. Okay, so this is the folder, and there I have my project folder. All right, so inside content I can create a new folder. Let's call it UE5 course. Okay, so we are in my project and content, and we just made a new folder, UE5 course. Now we want to use this destination, so I click on this path and copy it. So I copy this path, okay, and then all I have to do is to just go back to that asset actions, migrate, click on don't save, click on OK, and then this time provide the destination. So I copy the path in this navigation bar, and then I click on UE5 course, which is the folder that I want, select folder, and after a couple of seconds we're going to get a few messages that tells us that this has been successful. We're going to click on yes and yes again. It's going to take some time. Okay, all right, content migration completed successfully. And then if we go to that folder UE5 course, we get this migrated folder, and these are the assets and the materials that or the object that we wanted to transport. Okay, now inside the other project, if we navigate to that UE5 course, let's just find it. It's got to be here, there. We can just simply click on this object, drag it inside our scene and use it. Simply just drag it here. Okay, and that's basically all that it took to take an object and use it in another scene in Unreal. And this is where the bug that I talked about comes in, and as you can see, some of the textures that were used for this object are not working. Let's double click on it and on the texture and see what's wrong. So we got two errors regarding these two textures, fabric 2, I think. All right, let me just try to see. Let's just go back to the original scene and search for fabric 2, and let's try to find it. Let's see if we can fix this problem. So I was inside geometry. Let's go back to all, search inside all, fabric 2. Is it this one? Let me check. It doesn't, I don't think it's this one. So let me just go back, check out the name again. Was it fabric 2 or fabric underline 2? Let's see, fabric underline 2. Let's go back and search for this one, fabric underline 2. Okay, these are not the textures. All right, so we cannot find the texture right now, but it doesn't matter. The main problem is that it cannot load those textures, and the fix is simply to load the same texture. So you got to find the texture from wherever you copied the material and the textures and just load it here. Okay, so for example, this bump map here, let me see if I can find it in the other project. It's this one, I think. Let's see. Okay, let's find the parent texture here. I think I accidentally chose the wrong one when I tried to copy it and select it. So but the problem remains, and the fix is to just load that exact texture that is missing. So whenever something is missing and you get these errors, all you have to do is to find that exact same texture that is missing and load it. Okay, all right, so I'm not gonna be fixated on this problem right now, but you got the solution. So just if you just bear with me, I'm just gonna simply check out everything again very quickly. Let's see, this is the material. Let's check the texture, fabric 2 and fabric 1. Check out the files that I migrated. Let's check out this one. Okay, and let me see. All right, it's probably this one. So what we have to do now is that we have all the files all we have to do is just reload them so that they are working again. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna do that now. For example, let's just see this one. I'm gonna copy the name of this one with F2 on my keyboard. Now open up this one. Let's see what textures gives us errors. One of them is this one. Okay, so this texture is problematic. We have to load the correct texture for this. So I go here and search for this and fixed. Okay, so this one is fixed now. Let's go on to the next one. This one is problematic too. Let me just hit apply and save. Okay. Okay, so it would be better if I made a duplicate of that material as I'm working on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to right click on it, duplicate it, put it here. Now let's go to the bump texture, copy the name. Okay, let's try to find it. This was a V-Ray material and it was imported from V-Ray in 3ds Max. That is why it's just too crowded and too messy. So it's this one. Let me try to find it and upload it. Okay, so that error is taken care of as well. Okay, so I applied this and I click on continue, don't show the message. All right, so we only got one error texture left. So as you can see, some of these textures have not even been loaded yet. So this is regarding the bug that I just talked about. So if we had chosen another simple material, it would have been a lot easier. But like I said, I'm pretty sure it's because of the bug. And in the future versions of Unreal, I'm sure that they're gonna fix this. Alright, so as I said, the problem is with the bug, but we can just simply copy a material from another scene into ours and use Migrate, the Migrate option for it. So don't worry about the bug, it's going to be taken care of. Let's just focus on Migrate and learn that. Now for the next part of the session, I'm going to show you how to change the background of your project. Okay, so this background that we have here, it's very easy to do. I'm just gonna start by adding a simple shape here. Let's say a cube. Next, I'm gonna resize this cube. Okay, make it narrower and a lot wider so that it just covers the area behind the windows inside. Okay, so let me just make this bigger. Okay, put it to the right. All right, even taller as well and wider. Okay, next I'm going to add an image, a photo to this material here and use it as a background. So this is the photo that I want to use. I have to put it inside my content browser. So I'm going to have it here. Okay, on the left, go to content. I'm going to just copy the image here. So I'm going to drag it, put it here. Okay. And it's this one. I'm going to right click, create a material. I'm going to call it back. Okay, now double click on it, open the material editor. Let's just put the image on it. So where is this image that we just imported? Let's see. I think it would be easier if we search for the name. So too many stuff here. Let's just search for back, or you know what, I'm just gonna manually drag it into my slate. Okay, I'm gonna drag it here, put it on the slate there. Then I'm gonna link this into my base color. Okay, hit apply. All right, now I have to apply this to this cube, the background material. I'm gonna drag it. Okay, let me just find the back material, back. Okay, it's this one. I'm gonna manually drag it into this cube, this plane here. Okay. Now we are almost ready. It looks good enough, but it's not perfect and we have good lighting around us. But if we had an emissive light from the background image, it would even look more lively and better. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a multiply node, link it into emissive color, then link the background image into the A of multiply, add another value, link it to B, and I'm going to convert this into a parameter called light. Okay, now if I change the value from 0 to 0.5, more lights, and if I increase it to 1, 2, or 3, even more lights. So 0.2, 0.5, let's just save this and apply it. Okay. Now if we go back to the project, you can see how much more light we have here and how better this looks. It looks a lot more lively, a lot more perfect in terms of lighting. Let me just drag this a little bit down. Okay, so it looks great. So the next thing that I want to teach you is how to add a source of light like a sun that could just shine through this background. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is to let's just add that source of light before we go to the setting for this background. Okay, so we add a source of light here, lights, directional light, put it here, and let me just fix the angle the correct way. Okay, now as you can see, the light coming from that directional light is blocked by this image. If I hide it, you can see the light coming through, and if I just put it back, you can see that it's just blocking it again. So what can I do to fix this? All right, it's an easy fix. All you have to do is to just go to the right panel and search for cast, and you have this cast shadows option. You have to uncheck it for the light to go through that background image like you just witnessed. Okay, so I don't need this directional light anymore. I'm gonna delete it. Let's just go back to the scene, and the scene looks great, a lot more attractive than it was before. It looks good. Now even if you're not happy with this green here in the background, if it's too green, you can do something about it. So let me just search for that background material. It was called back, I think. Let's see if I can find it from my content browser. It was just right here. Let's just okay, it's this material here. All right, so I double click on the image, and all I have to do is to just decrease the saturation by half, 0.5, save it and go back, save it and apply. Okay, so it is a lot less green now, and now we have a more cloudy look for our background, and we have less green, so looks great. All right, so you just learned a new way to use that emissive material with your background image to control the amount of lights that you have, and that's another tip that you can use in your own projects. So that's all for this session. I hope you enjoyed it and that you practice. In the next one, we're going to start working with a camera, animate that camera, and also learn how to create an executable file. So I will see you in the next video.